I want to help you find the real reason why you're stuck learning that cartwheel or aerial, that macaque or back handspring. Informed by science, we'll do a simple 6-part self-test using a traffic light system. For every test where you get a green light, you know that capacity is not the problem you're stuck with the skill. And when I'm showing you a way simpler version of that skill that you still cannot do and you're getting a red light, it just means they're low-hanging fruit for easy progress. Now, what are the 6 testing movements? They're not random at all. They're the 6 movements that I found in over 15 years of coaching most strongly relate to skilled acrobatic movement. It's what I call the acro avatar. If you look super closely, this actually has 8 movements in total, and they make up what I call the movement avatar. The slightly smaller version with these 6 skills is what I call the acro avatar. Let me simplify this for us. Here we have 3 different strength movements. We're testing bent arm strength with the handstand push-up, straight arm strength with simple handstand forms and weight shifts. And we test lower body strength in a way that's meaningful for acrobatics with the arching squat. This tells us more about your floor acrobatic ability than a pistol squat or a deadlift or a weighted squat can. The arching squat. And now, as you can tell, this red triangle here really tells us about your upper body strength and about your lower body strength. For acrobatics, we don't just need strength, we also need flexibility. The bridge is where we want to measure and mainly improve shoulder flexibility. Of course, there's also extension of the entire spine and a little bit of hip extension. But the way that I like to assess it is more about the shoulders. In comparison to the front split and the middle split, these are clearly more about lower body flexibility. And again, the bigger the triangle, the more well-developed you are. And now you know that an avatar like this, that's really lower body flexibility dominant, but that also has lower body strength, they're gonna get a green light for the aerial, which will be easy for them to learn. This mover will struggle with splitting their legs far enough. But with their strength base and having a decent bridge, learning a front handspring will be easy for them. This is not kind of a black and white test. It's not about whether you're good or bad. Instead, it's about objectively measuring your strengths and weaknesses, your tendencies, and about discovering skills that will just be way easier for you to learn right away. And now that I mentioned the acro avatar, I actually want you to have it entirely for free, even in an interactive version, so that you can see and assess your own values right away. You get a sense if you're in the beginner, intermediate, or advanced stages. And by scrolling down, you can even see the full Core 6 assessment sheets with point values that are not just giving you 3, but 20 different measures per skill. The detailed avatar is really optimal for measuring precise long-term progress. But if you just want to get a quick assessment to find out if capacity is the problem, then the traffic light system is perfect. Because I want this to be a quick and efficient self-test, I'm just going to give you the rough areas, so that you know if your acrobatic strength is at a red light, yellow light, or a green light. I built this assessment so you can easily do it in your living room, but you need one piece of equipment, either a kind of standard sized yoga block or these low parallettes. You can see, roughly speaking, this is about the height of my fist, which we'll use as a height measure. Test number 1, bent arm strength. We really want to test your pike push-up or your above head pushing strength. Red light, the kneeling pike push-up, it looks like this. For the most basic level, you want to have at least 1 clean repetition, but look at that. If I'm kind of cheating the repetition like this, it can become infinitely easy. Here is how we make it objective instead. First, come into a kneeling position with your knees about 2 fists apart. Then bring your elbows to your knees, place the hands flat on the ground in one straight line, and then come up and out of it. Now this is my measure, but I can still cheat it if I kind of go down like this. An easy way to prevent this is place a yoga block behind your wrist. Simply place a second yoga block on the outside and try the same thing again. Right now, if my elbow flares too far, the yoga block falls. So can you do one strict kneeling pike push-up? Bent arm strength or light is the pike push-up all the way down to the floor. We're using the same setup and measures as before. So elbows touching knees, then coming up, hip lifts up. You can place a yoga block behind your wrist to make sure that you're not cheating. I know I said orange, I meant yellow. Whenever you hit a yellow light for any of the skills and you can execute that movement cleanly, your foundation is already decent. You get the bent arm strength green light if you can do a full handstand push-up with your back facing the wall. There is going to be a slight assist of your feet, and if you have a stall bar, that's essentially a simplified version. I'm just here to show that that's possible. The real green light you only get if you can do this skill using the wall with fair ease. It shows that you have great upper body bent arm strength. But what about straight arm strength, which is much more about shoulder stability? For the red light, you want to hold a 30-second L handstand. Bring your feet up on a surface to about hip height. This will be slightly harder using a wall, so feel free to use a chair or a table instead. Importantly, you want to hold the L handstand with a slight shoulder shrug and with your hips mostly over your wrist. So if you're holding something like this, you're not even scoring the red light. And working on your straight arm strength will certainly help. So see if you can stay here, slight shoulder shrug, hips more or less above your wrists, and hold it for 30 seconds. For the yellow light, we'll be in the exact same shape, but against the wall. So L handstand, feet up against the wall, and this time you want to be doing shoulder touches. And you want to do 3 controlled touches on each side. That will tell us that you have a decent amount of shoulder stability, and you can shrug your shoulders up enough to give you the strength cushioning you need for things like very controlled one-arm cartwheels. You get the green light for straight arm strength if you can do 2 hip taps on each side in a chest to wall handstand. Walk close to the wall, initiate a shift from your toes, find a point where you're stable, and tap your hip. This doesn't have to be long. It's not about being able to balance or weight shift. It's more about being able to get into the position in the first place. We're testing acrobatic leg strength with our arching squat, but we'll start with a basic version where you just need a wall. Measure 1 foot distance away from the wall and place your feet anywhere between 2 fists to 1 fist apart, whatever feels more comfortable. With your foot measure in place, you're pretending to do a wide push-up at shoulder level against the wall. From here, straighten your arms so that your chest is moving away from the wall. Then, you're keeping your arms in the exact same position and you're attempting to bring your knees to touch the wall. You want to be able to do 3 really comfortable repetitions here. The one thing we want to avoid is folding too far at the hips, doing something like this. That's why you do your wall push-up, keep your chest away from the wall, your arms straight, and automatically you're in the right position. Importantly, your hands are not supposed to hold a lot of weight. It's just a distance measure. So maybe repeat this one, and now just use your pinky finger to give you a bit of balance assist. And ideally, you should already feel like, oh, this is more of a leg challenge than I thought. If 3 repetitions here feel even remotely hard, you might have discovered an easy to improve weak link. For the yellow light arching squat, you need your parallel or the yoga block, just to measure the right distance off the ground. Use 2 fingers against the wall to give yourself a slight balance assist. You want 3 repetitions here to feel quite comfortable for you. If it's physically impossible for you to do it with an open hip and you always end up doing something like this, then you haven't passed the yellow light yet. So what I'm doing right now, that doesn't count. You want to be fully arched and come out here, because that's the kind of strength that will really help us in arching floor acrobatics. And you're getting the green light if you can do 3 controlled arching squats all the way down to the ground. I have rarely met someone who could do these with a lot of control who really struggled with a skill like the macaco. You see these little numbers here on the sheet? It goes from 0 to 2 to 4, 6, 8, 10. Getting a green light in this test puts you at a 6 to 8 out of 10. In other words, there's still room for improvement that will actually help you make acrobatics easier. And that's the last point I want to bring home about the movement avatar. If you've been feeling flustered by all the exercises out there, and it just feels like a little bit too much, know that there's really only 8 different capacities that you can take a lifetime building up, and you'll be prepared for virtually any sport or acrobatic skill. And that's what I want to do. I want to take the magical, the mystical, the amazing, and make it simple, make it learnable. Because whether you're a parent or just a busy adult, you can still accomplish amazing things in literally just 20 minutes of practice a day. So let's move on to the last 3 moves: the bridge, the front split, and the middle split. Before we're testing your bridge depth, we want to check in on shoulder stability, because I've had a ton of students who have good basic bridges, sort of on all 4s. But in acrobatics, we're rarely ever really balanced or centered. And oftentimes we need to build shoulder stability before increasing passive flexibility a bunch. So here is your red light test. Face away from the wall and get into a toe squat, so heels are off the ground. Make sure that when you turn around, you can place a straight arm right at the height of your shoulder. Now you want to bend your arm and lift your fingertips off the wall so that you can freely pivot on the heel of your hand. From here, bring out the second hand in front of you and draw a large half circle until you can meet it at the other side. Then push out so that your shoulders are at least at a straight angle. In other words, if you're doing this, we're not really testing for shoulder flexibility. You want to be here and turn. You pass the red light test if you can easily cycle in and out of this motion without breaking at the line of the shoulder. Again, if you're here, you fail the test. If you're here, you're at least getting the red light pass. And now we're going to repeat the same thing, but closer to the floor. To pass the yellow light, you need to do a full low bridge rotation on the floor. You can start in this one-arm tabletop position, where your fingertips are facing towards your spine. So you can see my fingertips are not facing towards the camera, I'm actually turning them around all the way. From here, I'm shifting my weight as far into my toes as I can, trying to almost touch my knees to the ground. But all the weight is split between my toes and my hand. Now, we're rotating towards the ground. You're getting the yellow light test if you can do low bridge rotations on the floor with ease. As you can tell, this takes more active flexibility than the task we did before. But the cool thing is that I'm now fairly sure that your rotator cuff is quite strong. Notice that in the bridge rotation, we're essentially doing this with our arm, which trains exactly the small rotator cuff muscles that so many people are trying to strengthen with some boring cable pull version. I prefer low bridge rotations over these any day of the week. Now that you've passed the red light and the yellow light, you're getting the green light if you can get into a bridge, in any bridge where your shoulders are at least at the level of your wrists. In other words, we don't want a bent arm bridge like that. No green light yet. Instead, you want to be able to push your shoulders above or even past your wrists. If you get your heel on the ground or even straighten your legs more, that's a bonus. To get a really accurate visual assessment, you actually need to square off your camera. And then when you've got one line where the camera is shooting straight ahead, that's where you want to put your hands. From here, lift up, straighten the arms, push out, and see how far you can push your chest and the center of your shoulders above or past your wrists. Like I mentioned, we really want to test for an open shoulder angle here. That's the main piece. Next up, the front splits test. For the red light test, come into this proposal lunge. Importantly, we want your hip to be right over your knee. Then straighten out your front leg. That's the basic distance we want to lock in. Now shift your weight forward and rise into a long lunge. You can use a fingertip balance assist against a wall, for example. And then you want to test, can you straighten the front leg and straighten out the back leg? Hold this position for 10 seconds. If the answer is no, we might not even want to build passive flexibility, but build strength in this position first. Of course, make sure that you test both sides. If you can endure the long lunge for 10 seconds, we're testing for depth next. You need your low parallel or the yoga block. Split your legs apart and get into your longest split position. Now in the beginning, you can use the props to actually give yourself a bit of a lift and start to feel comfortable. Maybe point that back toe and then see if you can slide the front foot further and deeper into the stretch. Don't push this. If you're at a 7 out of 10, that's way too high. Stay at a 3 or 4 out of 10. That way we keep the test honest and low risk. Now for the yellow light, you can place the block underneath your knee pit. And this is already a great baseline flexibility. If currently your legs don't split that far apart and you're sliding the block, but it meets your mid-calf, for example, just means you haven't passed the yellow light test. And that means they're low-hanging fruits for improvement. Whether you're interested in kicking better, cartwheeling with more ease, and just express more beautifully through a larger range of motion, the front split is the first place where I would start. And it doesn't have to be a closed hip front split either. You can absolutely start with an open hip front split. You see how my knee's kind of facing to the side? I could also change this and have my knee face down like this. But quite frankly, virtually all acrobatics, they pass through an open hip shape anyways, like any cartwheel, any aerial. So regardless if open or closed hip front split, if your thigh can touch the ground in one of these front splits, you get an absolute green light. Now, before we getting into the middle splits, I want to ask you, how have you been doing so far? If you're collecting a bunch of greens, I'm super excited for you because it means the next video on coordination will very likely help you unlock progress way faster than in the previous weeks, months, or maybe even years. But if you've been collecting a bunch of yellows, maybe even 1 or 2 reds, then I deeply want to invite you to the acrobatic community. I've made it as easy as possible for you to build your physical foundation in 15 minutes a day. You can literally just plug and play, follow along. Every week, the follow alongs change so that you know exactly how to make progress. We've had hundreds of members join and dozens of them have reported that they've made progress faster in 2 or 4 weeks while practicing less than they've ever made before. So if your capacity has been holding you back and you think it's difficult to build it, then please give the community a try for just a month. You're getting 50% off your first month if you use the link in the pinned comment. And you also get all my best techniques for how to improve your cartwheels, learn macacos, aerials, handstand rows, and so much more. All right, I promise you won't be disappointed, but now let's do our last assessment. Red light, middle split. You want to be able to get into a wide straddle position like this. Make it as wide as you're comfortable. the wider your feet are apart, the easier this next part is, which is, can you reach your fist and your knuckles to touch the ground? If you can touch the ground, hold this for 10 seconds and your legs are straight, you accomplished the red light score. But if instead of here, your knees are kind of bent, you're rounded, and you struggle to touch the ground at all, then improving this one thing alone will make your life better. I promise you will not regret it. For yellow light middle splits, we're actually testing your pancake first. So get into a wide startled position and then sit your butt down. Now for this next piece, we want to try to reach our head towards a fist. Now to accomplish the score, you want to reach your forehead to touch the fist on the ground. If this feels tough or impossible, you might literally want to lift your hips and push your legs further apart. Now I gotta be clear, this is not a training session, this is an assessment. So if this is impossible for you to touch your forehead to a fist, then you don't want to try to force it now. So let's say you can hold your forehead to your fist for an easy 10 seconds. Then we want to assess for your green light with a straddle up, which includes a strength component at this very far range. You can warm up for the straddle up by using your hands assist, but then you want to try to get in and out of the position without using your hands. If you can do even one controlled straddle up, it already says a lot about your active flexibility for acrobatics. Now, even I don't have my full middle split yet. And that's where in my own acro avatar, I still can make a bunch of progress. Let's complete this with a short recap. We're currently trying to find out why you've been stuck in the past and what the easiest lever for progress are so that you can make effortless progress again. Today, we focused on capacity with a 6-part self-test. You tested 3 upper body and 3 lower body moves and 3 strength and 3 flexibility moves. And you've given yourself a clear score for every one of the movements. Red lights are telling you that these are likely blocking your progress. And even just a bit of effort here will go a long way. Green lights tell you that, well, this is not a capacity problem, and likely you need to improve coordination or some aspects of psychology to get to the next level. And if you want to, you can build your very own acro avatar with precise point scores just by clicking the link in the description. And this is really just the first of 3 different tests. The Science of Gymnastics textbook splits it into these 3 areas: physiology, biomechanics, and psychology. Instead of physiology, I prefer the slightly simpler term capacity. Biomechanics is really about what is the easiest way for you to coordinate the movement. It has to do with understanding the mechanics of a skill, but also task design and how to measure progress. You always want to check first if capacity is the problem. That's your ultimate red light in some sense. Because if you don't have the capacity to hold yourself upside down, doing a handstand is physically impossible. That's why this video is really a capacity test. In the next video, we'll test if you understood how coordination learning works. But even if you have the capacity, and in principle you know how to coordinate a skill, but for some reason you still feel stuck in your journey, it's very likely that we're dealing with a problem of psychology. Within acrobatics especially, often has to do with fear and how to deal with injury. But here we can also tackle problems with motivation, for example. I hope that this video and the other videos on my channel are making it clear that movement learning requires no magic, because the only thing that's required to make progress is knowledge. And if you want direct support and coaching or just more information about my community, just DM me on Instagram. This is my handle @softacroaaron, and write me the message unstuck. Then my team and I know to start chatting with you and point you in the right direction. If you enjoyed this video, it would mean the world to me if you can drop a comment, press the like button. And did you know that you can hype videos on YouTube now? Like, you can literally give me like some hype bonus points and then more people are going to see the video. Nothing left to say except move well, with joy, at any age. Aaron out. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. That was a bit cringy. I'll keep it in because it's me. You do you, I do me. Let's get better together. All right, cheerio.